Why are we behind Israel? I'm just getting tired of us funding everybody's wars.
The reason they're having so much problems is they literally walked into the fight that Hamas wanted to have. They didn't go with that plan, largely because the Pentagon gave them pressure not to. I'm shocked at how subjugated even the IDF was to the Biden Pentagon. 50% of the loitering munitions that are launched from the north, from Hezbollah-controlled areas, are getting through.
I did not realize that.
It's a huge problem, and it's dinging them hard.
Wow.
So they built this magnificent high fence, but the very low level kind of nap of the earth loitering munition is causing real problems.
Interesting.
So it's an example of it's very dangerous to assume.
Speaking of Israel, how many times have you been over there since October 7th?
I was there a couple times in November, December, because I was trying to get them. There's one thing I understand is military bureaucracies, and there's a reason stereotypes exist. And the IDF has a lot of brave but stubborn people. And I knew they'd have a problem with the tunnels. And I didn't think they'd have a very good idea of the technology that's grown in directional horizontal drilling. And so I brought them a solution, because I think the reason they're having so much problems is they literally walked into the fight that Hamas wanted to have. Hamas wants to maximize civilian casualties and to draw them into urban combat. And so the amount of bombing that the Israelis have done in and around civilians, whatever the number is, Hamas says it's this number, IDF says it's this number, it's really, really giving them a black eye in the international media. And I was trying to prevent that and prevent civilians from getting killed in the crossfire of all this bombing by bringing the best of Texas in horizontal drilling to flood the tunnels, and had, even 12,000 horsepower turbine engines driving pumps moving 60,000 gallons a minute. So you're filling an Olympic swimming pool in a few seconds. To be able to drill horizontally, and once you hit tunnels, to just flood it. So it would have done three things. Flooded all their underground arms caches, would have prevented them using tunnels for maneuver, and three, some say, well, it would have drowned the hostages. No, it would have forced them to move the hostages, because they don't want dead hostages. Dead hostages are worth nothing to Hamas. They'd have to move them. It would at least taken away the underground fight, because there was no civilians, maybe hostages, but there's no civilians in those tunnels. And they didn't go with that plan, largely because the Pentagon gave them pressure not to. I'm shocked at how subjugated even the IDF was to the Biden Pentagon. And so it's ugly. Hamas is still not defeated. They're now, 9 months past October 7, and it's still not resolved. It's too bad.
It seems to be growing.
Yes. Well, and with what the Houthis are doing, shutting off the Red Sea, Egypt is losing $800 million a month, okay, in toll fees. The Arab street in Egypt is extremely now hostile to Israel. Even the Christians in Egypt hostile to Israel because of the video, right? The nonstop Al Jazeera pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas propaganda. And the Israelis blundered into it. It was stupid. They should have, Hamas would not have been expecting to turn Gaza into a duck impoundment. And I'm doing that, and I advocated that to protect civilians from the inevitability of combat, not to hurt them. If it's one thing I understand is moving water. Having built Blackwater on 7,000 acres of land as flat as your kitchen table, we had to move a lot of water.
Yeah, I bet. Why are we behind Israel?
There's been a historic long-term alliance as a democracy in the Middle East. And
is this a one-sided alliance?
There's a lot of tech that comes out of Israel that the U.S. benefits from. Pretty good intel, I would say as well. But I would say it's not a, look, what alliance does America have that's actually equal? NATO is not an alliance. NATO is a protectorate. When Trump took over, 5 of 28 countries were actually paying the 2% of their GDPs for defense. Now it's up to 11, and now it's up to 11 out of 28, but still not. I mean, Germany, third largest economy in the world, they're not anywhere close to paying 2% of their defense yet. They're just not taking it seriously. Norway, with a $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund, it's right on a website. You can see it ticking up in value. They spend like 1.2%. Why are we defending them? No. That's, again, I wrote a big article on neocon foreign policy failure. I'm all in favor of defending allies, but not protectorates. Our tax dollars and our sons do not need to protect protectorates.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, and I'm not anti-Israel. I just want to know, I'm just getting tired of us funding everybody's wars.
Power the purse, cut it off. We need a thorough house cleaning of the Pentagon and the really bad habits, a thorough recompetitiveness of American defense industry. We used to have 100 major defense contractors. We're down to 5 now. And they really do behave like a cartel. So fine, break up that cartel. Teddy Roosevelt, one of the greatest things he did was trust busting, was busting up the huge cartelized industries in America. Defense is one of those. Insurance is one of those. Banking, that's a whole nother story. But we spend way too much on defense because of really bad, really stupid procurement policies driven by Congress that reward really bad behavior from these very bloated customers that have really started to look exactly like the federal government customer. That's probably why big government hated Blackwater so much, is because I would say to our people all the time, we never want to look like, act like, at the speed of our customers, ever.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.